Hi, I'm at Miss Esther's house, and Miss Esther came to Palmer last year while we were doing our homeless unit, and participated with Miss Ruiz and Miss Trammell's class, my class. But this year she will be out of town, so I came over here to interview her and find out a little bit about her background and to share a little bit about her life and her experiences with you guys. Miss Esther, could you share with us a little bit about your background?
Sure. I grew up in a family where we weren't exactly poor, although I think my mom often acted like she thought we were, but we were lower income than some of our church friends and so on. But we always had plenty to eat and always had a place to live, had clothes, had everything we basically needed. But also, we were in a church that really believed in helping poor people. And so my parents did a lot of that sort of thing. So I think I grew up realizing that everyone deserves to be treated as a respected human being, and that if you have a faith perspective, justice and care for the poor are important issues. So I kind of grew up with that perspective.
Okay. Miss Esther, we are sharing a couple of newspaper quotes with our students and would like for you to respond to them. You can either respond to just one or all of them. I will really leave that up to you.
Okay. I think maybe I will go ahead and respond to all of them.
Okay.
Since I have worked through the Bijou community and the Ithaca Land Trust as a volunteer with homeless and people in transition for actually the last 27 years. So anyway, number one, if a person wants a job, the chances are he or she can find one. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that's the mentality that's out there a lot, but I guess I've seen people hunt and hunt and hunt, and there's many, many reasons why people don't get jobs. Sometimes they don't present real well in terms of language. Sometimes they have mental issues or addictions, and or haven't had much education. And a lot depends on the economy and the type of jobs that are available also in terms of what a person needs to have to get a job. So I don't think that's always true.
Okay.
It might seem to be true, and it might be true for some, but I don't think it's always true. Okay, the next one says the majority are homeless, are anyone's definition of mentally ill, and most are drug addicts, alcoholics, or both. There definitely are mentally ill and people that are addicted to alcohol and drugs, but that isn't everybody. Some people are down on their luck. Some people can't keep jobs because they haven't learned good communication and conflict resolution skills, and so they can get ticked off at their boss or co-workers, and so they can't keep a job, even though they can get hired for a job, but they can't keep one. So yeah, I wouldn't say the vast majority. I think some in all categories.
Okay.
Yeah. And then most homeless have no interest in living under a roof. I definitely don't believe that. I think sometimes they will present that way to the news media because of pride. They make it sound like it is their choice to be outside. But I think part of it is, given their options, once they get down to the point without any resources, and so their options are to live where there's lots of restrictions, or where they have to take medication, or where they have to be clean and sober, and if those things are hard for them, then it sounds like they're choosing that. But I don't think anybody likes in the cold, really, and freeze or be sick. Okay, let's see. Many of the homeless are in their situation because they choose to be. I think I touched on that before. Given their option, I still think that's it. It's not like they're choosing to be homeless or to be a medical doctor or a lawyer. Some of their choices they made in their past life, like to drop out of school or to not work on relationships or not learn how to manage their anger. You know, a lot of issues like that. Or some people are choosing not to get mental health help because they're too paranoid of the system. We don't have good mental health or addictions care programs in our state or in our city. And so it's hard for people to get the help they need to make them employable or make them so they can live with other people or in a place where they have restrictions or rules.
I know the students have just been learning about that Colorado has the largest increase in children living in poverty.
I believe that, yeah. There again, a lot of resources aren't available, and now with the employment the way it is, and even though you hear on the news that the economy is improving, it's improving at the Wall Street level, but it hasn't filtered down to more jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then people have families. We live in an area where there's a lot of faiths that encourage people to have children. And so if the economy's bad, people that maybe had jobs before aren't going to have income now. And so, yeah, if you lose your house, lose your job, can't pay your mortgage, can't pay your rent.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shelters that are available to families, there's Interfaith Hospitality Network, there are obviously the regular New Hope Center shelter. But for the growth in it,
mm-hmm.
There's probably not enough.
Yeah, we've learned there are really not a lot of shelters in this area compared to the population we have.
Right. And I don't know how the other cities in the Front Range compare to that either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. Imagine with Denver being larger, there's probably more resources there. But I don't know how that compares.
Well, thank you for responding to our questions, and we will share this with our ninth graders.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.